Hey friends, tonight we're diving into the story of Icarus, a tale of ambition and flight. But to make this an even better experience, I suggest finding a quiet corner and getting comfortable to allow yourself to unwind as we begin. If you have a topic you'd like us to explore in a future video, please leave a comment below. Your ideas are always read and taken into account. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's make Hypnorium the biggest community of relaxation on YouTube. With that being said, let's begin. Welcome, gentle listener, to a soft journey through time and myth. We find ourselves alongside the delicate ocean breeze, brushing against the smooth stones of ancient shores. Here in the cradle of myth, the story of Icarus unfolds, a tale not of rashness or hubris, but of gentle ambition and the wonder of flight. Breathe deeply and let the currents of this age-old sea carry our thoughts back to a time where mythology wove through the everyday lives of those who looked skyward with dreams of touching the sun. The sun, a luminescent orb in an endless sky, smiles down warmly upon an adolescent Icarus whose eyes flicker with the auroras of youth's boundless aspirations. Imagine him a slender silhouette against a bronze backdrop, his feet tracing paths upon the sand, each step forming ephemeral imprints soon kissed away by the rhythmic caress of the ocean. The evening air smells sweet with salt and the brimming promise of adventures untold. It is in these undisturbed moments, walking along the beachside with nature's symphony cradling his every thought, that Icarus feels a whisper of what could be. If you listen closely, you might hear the distant rustle of olive leaves intertwined with his dreams, the trees themselves bearing timeless witness to human yearning. The smell of olive oil, rich and slightly peppery, mingles with the scent of sun-warmed sand, grounding those dreams with the reality of life in ancient Greece. Here, daily life revolves around the necessities of sustenance. Bread, though simple, paired lovingly with olives and honey, creates a feast of flavors once treasured by common folk and mythical figures alike. Yet within the confines of these earthly pleasures, flights of the soul beckon. Daedalus, Icarus's father, known throughout these lands as a man not only of his craft, but of quiet reflection, serves as both mentor and muse. In his presence there is a nuanced calm, an aura that suggests an inner wisdom tempered by experience, and a knowing smile that only deepens the mystery of his past ventures. Think of Daedalus not merely as a figure in Icarus's life, but as a representation of the profound wisdom that grows from embracing one's imperfections and humanity. Picture him crouching over in his workshop, the gentle tap, tap, tap of his artisan's tools, creating a rhythmic lullaby that hums softly through the stone halls and emerges like a calming echo into the surrounding air. The workshop, a cradle of tangible dreams, is filled with the scent of aging wood and hot wax, the earthy and sweet aroma swirling into something complex, invitingly tangible in its comfort. Here, the day's labor involves more than just objects. It shapes a legacy etched into the folds of time. The intricate wings of feathers and wax, an artistic masterpiece in their own right, take form with steady hands, each quill placed with care akin to a painter brushing life onto canvas. The process delicate, slow, and deliberate, much like the unfurling of time itself, in this myth-laden world. The wings are more than marvels of craftsmanship. They are an homage to the idea of reaching beyond the realm of the conceivable, the whispers of angels made manifest. Now, let us pause to indulge in the texture of things, the rich, grainy surface of feather shafts, softened by the melding of golden wax, the slight crackle as you imagine running fingers lightly over them. The wings are light, yet full of promise, imbued with the scent of dreamers past and present, tangible within your grasp. Herein lies an opportunity to reflect. How often does the act of creation become a quiet contemplation of the Creator himself? A gentle reminder that each ambition pursued reveals itself slowly through both trial and tenderness, like the unfolding wings meant to carry Icarus skyward. For a fleeting moment, Icarus, poised in pensive wonder, looks to the expanse above, a clean canvas painted only with swathes of open sky. Flying, a conceptual symphony that paired freedom with gravity, height with fall, beckons. To the Greeks, this was more than mythological fancy. It was an exercise in humility, a timeless narrative interwoven with the notion that to attempt something beautiful and unknown was a testament to the human spirit. In this myth-laden world, the details of day-to-day life converge with the sublime, creating a mosaic where stone pathways meet the celestial. The pulse of daily existence thrives amid wonder and reverence, a balancing act as delicate as the waxing dynamics of hope held tenderly within Icarus's wings. As our journey through this tale continues, let your heart echo with the rhythmic calm of the age-old sea, guiding our thoughts upon gentle waves, onward to the skies alight with stories yet untold. Now we find ourselves standing softly at the edge of chapter's end, the heavens above rich and deep, promising endless starry tales to come. Step with me steadily forward, the wings of curiosity ready to unfurl for our next exploration, anchored firmly within the tranquility of calm reflection. With this, dear listener, may calm curiosity lead you into the depths of graceful repose, nestled within the gentle spectrum of dreams and reveries. Sweet journeys await. Imagine yourself standing on the edge of a vast, timeless landscape. The air is rich with the scent of salt from the ever-expansive sea, and beneath your feet the ground is warm and solid. Aegean waves murmur gently in the distance, a soft melody to match the gentle rustling of leaves in a scarce wind. Here, in this serene corner of the world, a young man named Icarus stands, his heart full of dreams and boundless potential. Icarus, with eyes as deep as the ocean he gazed upon, often pondered the mysteries of the world with a mix of wonder and yearning. From the sprawling orchards of Crete, where olive branches danced under the sun, to the bustling marketplaces fragrant with spices, there was always something to catch his eye. Life in the Aegean was a sensory tapestry, each detail woven with its own story. One could almost lose themselves in the delicate patterns of daily life, each moment a gentle repetition of tasks that marked time quietly. The wooden tables in Icarus's village were often laden with simple fare, crusty loaves of bread, fresh cheese that crumbled at the touch, and juicy figs picked under the warm sun. Children's laughter would skip through the air like pebbles over a pond, bringing with it a sense of timeless joy. Yet, as tranquil as these routines were, Icarus often looked skyward, consumed by thoughts of flight and freedom.
His father, Daedalus, was renowned for his skill in crafting remarkable inventions. People would often speak in hushed, reverent tones of his ability to create things both beautiful and functional, ingeniously merging art and utility. To Icarus, these inventions were not just mere contraptions. They were doorways to dreams yet undreamed, paths to possibilities yet unexplored.
In the comforting dimness of Daedalus's workshop, where beams of golden sunlight danced playfully through wooden cracks, Icarus often found solace. It was a place where the air smelled faintly of sawdust, and the quiet hum of creation filled the cozy space. Shelves overflowed with folded parchments and curious designs, the corridors of creativity that Daedalus walked down every day. Even the tools seemed to whisper stories of every intricate carving they'd helped create, every metallic joint they'd fused. Sitting amidst the gentle clinking of metal and soft hum of expectation, Icarus felt his own aspirations soar effortlessly. His imagination often fluttered like a swallow in summer, darting between the ambitious ideas he saw etched in his father's creations. He found himself drawn to the possibility of flight above all. It was the thought of caravanning across the great blue yonder that stirred his youthful spirit like no other. In moments like these, the world was tucked away outside the confines of their shelter, its ebbs and flows a distant melody. Icarus reveled in the tangible quietude, interrupted only by the occasional chirrup of a nearby cricket, or the muted thud of Daedalus's careful craftsmanship. The potential of soaring high, of feeling the wind course through his hair like a liberating anthem, kept whispering and expanding within him, nurturing his passion for the sky. Over time, as Daedalus shared his vision and unrivaled skill with Icarus, they began to work on something truly audacious: wings. Crafted with meticulous care, they started taking form, each feather meticulously adhered with the softness of beeswax. The wings arching, with grace and strength combined, promised Icarus a taste of what it must feel like to be as free as the birds who grace the heavens with their effortless flight. The wax smelled faintly sweet, mingling with the fresher scent of feathers. As they crafted, a light sheen of warm golden wax began to cover their fingers, glowing under the gentle candlelight scattered across the workbench. Icarus, with his youthful eagerness, found joy in the very feel of the feathers, ribbons of hope that connected him to a world that seemed almost possible now, a world where flight wasn't just a fanciful thought. As the work continued at an unhurried pace, Icarus and Daedalus worked side by side, an unspoken bond forming between father and son. Sometimes, when the day fell into gentle quietness, Daedalus would share old stories of heroes and myths, of gods who rode chariots of fire across the sky. It was as if the very history of the world was opening up to them, each narrative a thread weaving into the larger tale of their unfolding destiny. Thus, with a shared vision and the peaceful rhythm of soft brushes on wax and feathers, the wings came to life ever so quietly, in the same way a dawn stretches across the sky, inch by delicate inch. There was no rush or urgency, only the calm pursuit of a dream unfurling from the echoes of their heart's deepest wishes. As the stars blinked into existence outside their humble abode, invisibly shimmering in the vast velvet above, they would pause to marvel at the day's progress, a kind of perfect alchemy that bound them together. The world was wide and the sky even wider, whispering untold mysteries to anyone willing to listen. And listening, as it turned out, was one of Icarus's greatest gifts, a quiet art that bore the faith that someday, somehow, his dreams of flight would lift him beyond the realm of fantasy into a reality all his own. So, my dear listener, Let's take a gentle stroll into the world of Icarus and Daedalus, where our story rests upon the sun-dappled island of Crete. Imagine, if you will, the soft rustle of the olive trees, their leaves whispering secrets carried by a tender breeze from the Aegean Sea. Envision small houses made of sun-baked stone, their whitewashed walls gleaming softly under the warm kiss of morning light. The gentle sound of waves lapping against the shore creates a soothing lullaby, accompanied by the distant baying of goats, reminiscent of a time long gone, yet deeply familiar, peaceful yet vibrant, much like a serene escape from the hustle of modern life. In this world, the tiny rituals of daily life shaped the days under the watchful gaze of mountains clad in myth and glory. Here, the legendary craftsman Daedalus and his son Icarus made their home, surrounded by the texture of sun-warmed earth and the fragrance of wild herbs, thyme and rosemary, weaving into the air as if nature itself was concocting a gentle tonic for the spirit. In every village corner, people could be seen tending to their daily tasks with a slow, unhurried rhythm, exchanging gentle smiles and nods, their lives deeply intertwined with the natural cycle of seasons. People, in those days, viewed the world with a calm and curious eye, finding beauty in the ordinary. Their lives were painted with nature's brush, from the vibrant mosaics of flower-laden meadows to the taste of freshly baked bread, its warmth a comforting presence in the cool morning air. There was a profound simplicity, a kind of unadorned joy that flavored their existence. As you walk with us through these ancient pathways, think of Daedalus with his deft hands, fashioning objects of both beauty and utility. His workshop might have been cluttered with wooden shavings and stone dust, the aroma of sawdust mingling with the sea breeze. A creator's sanctum filled with unfinished projects, each piece a testament to patience and skill. In every corner you might imagine tiny sculptures and intricate carvings waiting to be brought to life under his meticulous care.
And there, among the tools and timbers, was Icarus, the young dreamer, with eyes reflecting the vastness of the sky he yearned to touch. In our tale, the relationship between father and son unfolds like a tender dance, filled with unspoken understanding and the familiar rhythms of shared stories and shared dreams. Icarus's skies were often filled with dreams spun from the stories of gods and heroes, whispered around the hearth and etched into the starry nights of his boyhood. Imagine Daedalus guiding Icarus's young hands over the grain of wood, teaching him to listen to the whispers of the material. Patience, Daedalus might murmur with a smile, as gentle as the morning light filtering through the shutters, for in patience and practice lay the true art of their craft, a lesson as enduring as the stone upon which it was carved. There is a softness here, an elegance in the simple act of creating that mirrors the gentle arcs of the sea beneath the boat sails in the harbor. Their days were measured by the sun's journey across the sky, by the music of labor and laughter, interspersed with moments of tranquil contemplation. Life was a dance of balance between necessity and art, a melody played over and over through the days and nights, calm as the lapping of the waves on the island shore.
In our tale, ambition and caution are woven like threads into the fabric of their lives. Daedalus, seasoned by a life filled with creations both humble and grand, understood well the balance between one's reach and one's grasp. Yet it was Icarus's enthusiasm, untamed like a fledgling's first flight, that pushed the boundaries of what was known, what could be. Picture them planning together,
sketching wings shaped from feather and wax, each feather carefully aligned, each seam smoothly bonded. The workshop faded into a sanctuary of invention, a place where the impossible took tentative steps toward possibility, where dreams were whispered to the wind. There is calm to be found here, in the methodical rhythm of creation, and in the kinship between a father and his son. It is a soothing reminder of human ambition's gentle side, where the journey itself becomes the destination. And as we close this scene, let us leave them to their work, these quiet architects of dreams, under a sky stretching toward infinity. For in this, our story has only just begun to unfold, like the warm sea breezes that caress the shores of Crete, steadfast, eternal, and profoundly calming. In the heart of this tale lies the gentle reminder of our own ambitions and the serenity we might find in the quiet corners of our daily lives. Allow this landscape, this story, to enfold you in its gentle embrace, whispering of bygone times, yet ever speaking to the present, like a timeless lullaby to the soul. As you imagine walking through this ancient meadow, it's easy to get lost in its tranquility, the way wild flowers flirt gently with every breeze that whispers across the landscape. It's a timeless scene. In the distance, the quiet hum of a small village begins to settle into its daily rhythm, indistinct yet somehow comforting, a tableau that might seem familiar to those who lived beneath this same sky millennia ago. In this serene setting, let's pivot our thoughts to daily experiences of life in ancient Crete. Imagine the warmth of the early sun as you step out, greeting a day that promises the gentle revelations of routine. People's lives here were guided by the rhythms of nature, a slower, perhaps mindful pace that harmonizes so well with the softness we seek now. On such a morning, you might observe families gathering outside their homes, some still small and modest, woven from thatch or stone, simple yet welcoming. The morning carries scents of cooking fires as remnants of wood smoke blend with the sweet perfume of blossoming flora. Picture a mother kneeling by a humble hearth, her hands dusted with flour as she prepares the day's bread with serene attention. Her focus so pure it's almost a meditation, the soft thud of dough landing on a wooden surface in an unhurried dance of creation. Nearby, children watch with glistening eyes, eagerly waiting for when they too can partake in yesterday's lessons. Each day a delicate thread added to the loom of their learning. There is humility in these encounters, a humble beauty that calls to mind life's simple pleasures, often missing in our modern haste. The art of preparing food here seems not just necessary, but deeply communal. Imagine people gently pulling herbs from their garden patches, hands brushing against the dewy leaves, releasing fragrances that linger in the air, a fusion of mint, oregano, perhaps thyme, living secrets kept within these ancient landscapes. Through such small acts, the people here might find their connection to the land in ways that sit quietly beneath the surface of history, yet pulse comfortably in the present moment. Beneath the sun's lengthening rays, life moves forward. A market slowly awakens, booths crowded with earthenware jars of honey and oil, baskets spilling over with ripe olives, figs, and salt-softened cheeses. Picture lively bartering, voices rising and falling like a wind-swept melody in a scene so vivid you can almost hear their whispered secrets carried on that same breeze. Amidst these daily routines, consider the smells riding the soft currents of the air. Fresh-cut wood, the faint saline from the nearby sea, layered with the calming, balmy scent of cypress and citrus, the effortless perfumes of life itself, invisibly yet indelibly preserved in the folds of time. And amidst all this, think of Icarus, a young boy, curious and full of dreams, as luminous as this Cretan morning itself. What must it have been like to stand in those same sunbeams, feeling the warmth seep into youthful bones, looking up at the vastness of possibility painted across the sky? Imagine him navigating these bustling markets and tranquil fields with a sense of wonder that reflects our own quiet yearning for exploration.
In his father's workshop, a place that has become a hallowed hall in myth and memory, tools rest in practiced ease, their surfaces smooth from years of use. Daedalus, a master of his craft, works with purposeful hands, carving, shaping, imagining. Here, the soft cadence of the workshop fills the space, a symphony of gentle scraping, the whisper of wood yielding its secrets to the master's touch. Icarus watches with a singular focus of youth, learning to see the world not just as it is, but as it could be. The scent of wood shavings and beeswax polish the air, flitting around like invisible tendrils, shaping the very fabric of their shared space. In this sanctuary of making, time slows, each tick of imagination drawn out into the fullness of its potential, like the slow bloom of dawn over distant hills. In these moments, surrounded by the familiar cadence of everyday life, were planted the seeds of ambition that would one day lift Icarus skyward. We find here a gentle parallel to our own flights of imagination, a timeless echo that reminds us of the delicate balance between dreams and the mortal threads that bind us. As our thoughts drift within this story, we weave a tapestry from the threads of these quiet lives, realizing that perhaps the dreams of flight reflect a longing not just for the skies, but for the possibilities found in moments of stillness. It's a gentle reminder to slow down, listen, and perhaps find the tranquility hidden within the fabric of our own lives.
Wouldn't it be glorious if in these soft recollections and reflections you uncover those small connections to your own world? Like unexpected companions on a road less taken, they offer glimpses into histories whispered gently by time, urging you to find the calm tucked between heartbeats, like the sun's warm embrace on a cool Cretan morning. In the soft light of the dawning day, the sea glimmered below, a silken expanse stretching out to the horizon. The gentle lap of waves whispered against rocky outcrops, like secrets shared amidst the lull of nature. If you were to stand at the edge, toes curling in fine sand, you might sense the mild chill before the sun's warmth enveloped the earth. Here, the story of Icarus entwines with the eternal rhythm of the sea, a rhythm both calming and all-knowing. Imagine for a moment that you are standing where Icarus himself might have stood, feeling the delicate play of the morning breeze against your skin. It carries with it the scent of salty brine and wild thyme clinging to the rocky cliffs. Each inhalation is like a breath of serenity, drawing from the deep well of ancient stories that have been told and retold under this very sky. Icarus, passionate and eager, would have awakened to a morning just like this. The sun, climbing slowly into its arc, would have cast long shadows on the golden sands, illuminating the path ahead. It isn't hard to picture him, shoulders back, eyes bright with ambition, feeling both exhilarated and a little anxious. It was a day charged with potential, yet softly tranquil in its unfolding. Now let's drift into the daily life in Icarus's world. The ancient Greeks lived at a crossroads of thought and action, their days filled with tactile chores and philosophies alike.
One might start their morning with a brisk splash of cold water from a communal urn, the sharp tingle on the skin both refreshing and bracing. Stone homes clustered together, creating a tapestry of life where few walls were solid but many sounds echoed. The scent of olive oil, slightly peppery and rich, often mingled in the air with the aroma of hearth bread baking, its crust turning golden and fragrant. Accompanying these sensory wonders, the chatter of the community would rise and fall like a gentle tide. Children's laughter, a dog's distant bark, and the rhythmic call of a fisherman touting his morning catch would weave into an ambient melody. It was an existence rooted in the tangible, yet alive with stories shared around evening fires under a canopy of stars far brighter and more lustrous than we might imagine today. Stepping closer into the everyday, you can almost feel the rough texture of coarse wool against your fingertips as women wove at their looms, creating patterns both intricate and enduring. Each turn felt in their hands an echo of those before, binding them to both past and future. Conversations interspersed with the quiet concentration of their craft flow seamlessly through time, connecting them to moments on the wind-swept shores of memory. The bell-like clink of metal and stone filled the air as artisans labored on amphorae and sculptures, striving for the perfect curve and an echo of beauty reflecting the eternal interplay of shadows and light. The clamor, though rhythmic, was not harsh, but a repetition that blended with life's pulse, almost as enduring and delicate as a heartbeat. Each task, each connection wrapped them in a continuity that comforted and sustained. There was both the weight and lift of history in their days, anchoring them while extending their reach skyward, much like Icarus's dreams. For they knew the celestial was not only for the gods. Aspirations lived within and throughout, part of a gentle reverie, until one dared to let them take flight. Underneath this calm surface flowed currents of desire and adventure. A thirst for understanding and exploration colored their reality, as it does for us today. Icarus, with unbounded dreams and youthful daring, stood as the spirit of human ambition reaching outwards into the possible, crafting from myth and memory the wings which sought to touch the untouchable. And so we return to the image of Icarus, poised and waiting at the fulcrum between earth and sky. As he spread his arms, feeling the glide of feathers sewn by his father's hands, there must have been an exquisite moment of suspension, a pause where breath halted and only the murmur of hopes whispered over the waves. Then, with a soft rush, his feet lifted from the familiar, and the wind cupped his flight. It would have felt like freedom, the sheer rush of air, crisp and exhilarating against his skin, each heartbeat a drum echoing with the thrill of the unknown. His shadow skimmed the wave tips, an ephemeral dance partner, tracing an upward arch as the cliffs receded below. Such is the power of ambition and flight, the courage to cross thresholds offering quiet encouragements, and the sea whispering promises of far-off worlds. And though his tale is often recounted with a cautionary lens, today let it be a gentle reminder of light and laughter carried on the backs of dreams, limitless until the boundaries of the physical world imposed their inevitable return. As we draw in these moments, framed within the soft confines of legend and realness, let them cradle you as they cradled the spirit of Icarus and his boundless leap. Let the soft sway of ancient tides echo in your mind, a timeless antidote to our fast-paced world. And know that you, too, are part of these stories, forever woven into this tapestry of being. As the sun dipped low on the horizon, painting the sky in hues of soft pink and orange,
the village began its slow exhale into evening. One could almost hear the gentle rhythm of life winding down, like a lullaby sung to the land by the day itself. The scent of sun-warmed olive groves blended with the cool, crisp evening air, adding a subtle fragrance to this serene moment. In these quiet minutes, you might find yourself strolling through the narrow paths of the village, your feet moving in sync with the gentle melody of crickets beginning their evening chorus. The homes, simple yet sturdy, stood nestled like contented old friends against the backdrop of the rolling hills, their stones infused with the warmth of countless sunlit days. As your hand grazes the rough-hewn walls beside you, it connects you with the centuries of stories embedded within. Imagine stepping into one of these humble abodes, the simple structure welcoming you with a sense of comfort and peace. A central hearth whispers the tale of many a meal cooked with care, a faint trace of smoke clinging to the air like an old acquaintance. The scent of herbs, thyme, oregano, perhaps a hint of garlic, lingers as if holding on to the past warmth of a shared dinner. The smooth texture of a clay pitcher sitting atop a wooden table invites touch, cool and reassuring against your skin. Let us turn our attention now to the home of Daedalus, the master craftsman. It's here, amidst this rural tranquility, where extraordinary ambition quietly simmered beneath ordinary routines. The stones of this house bore witness to the genius and dreams that took shape within. It was here that Daedalus, the architect of myths, breathed life into his creation, the wings that would carry his son Icarus on their fateful journey towards the sun.
If you lean closer, you can almost perceive the subtle echoes of Daedalus's methodical intent, each measured movement adding another layer to this fantastical endeavor. The tools of his trade lay scattered upon his workbench, each with its own purpose and story, waiting patiently to be called upon. Beside them, the beginnings of wings, delicate constructions of feathers and wax, hinted at the dreams of flight that swirled within the confines of this stone room. What thoughts danced through Daedalus's mind as he worked? Perhaps he was lost in the rhythm of his craftsmanship, driven by the spark of creation, each stroke of his hand a note in a silent symphony of hope. It's quite soothing to think how even the most ambitious dreams begin in such simple moments, a soft whisper of imagination against the backdrop of everyday life. Yet as the night continued its gentle course, casting a serene darkness filled with tiny cosmic lights, one might ponder the dreams of young Icarus, lying quietly nearby. His thoughts, perhaps filled with the allure of the sky's vast mystery, might have flickered like the night's myriad stars themselves. It's here, wrapped in the comforting calm of night, where dreams often feel like promises awaiting fulfillment. As you relax into this scene, imagine the tranquility settling over you like a warm, soft blanket, each breath drawing in the peace of a world slowly surrendering to sleep. The soft glow of the moon casts gentle shadows through the window, a reminder that even the most grandiose plans find their place within the quiet rhythm of life.
And so, in this convergence of ambition and solace, the seeds of a myth were sown, ready to take root in a world where dreams could soar just as easily as they could be cradled in the arms of the earth. As dawn approached, there lingered a soothing stillness, the kind that graces only the earliest hours. Here the sky began its gentle dance with colors yet again, signaling a new day. The sea, kissed lightly by the first rays of light, mirrored the heavens above. It's in moments like these where time doesn't feel linear, but suspended, offering a contemplative space to breathe deeply and revel in nature's quiet ballet. With a gentle sway, the world of our story moves forward. Daedalus and Icarus, standing at the threshold of their fabled adventure, were enveloped by the soft hum of dawn. As the world began to awaken, so too did the promise of flight, a reminder of what dreamers could achieve when they dared believe in the power of their creations, even if just for a moment, suspended in time.
As the sun grew steady in its climb, spreading its warm embrace across the landscape, Icarus found himself sitting upon a large flat rock, warmed and welcoming like an old friend. Here, amid the gentle rustling of olive leaves and the distant bleating of a solitary goat, he felt the pulse of the earth beneath him, a calming rhythm that seemed to merge with his own heartbeats. His fingers traced patterns in the thin layer of dust that had settled atop the rock, a mindful distraction that allowed him to ponder his dreams of flight, like a feather drifting lazily upon the currents of his thoughts. Icarus's mind wandered back to childhood stories told in the flickering dance of twilight fires, tales of heroes and beasts, of mortals shaking hands with gods, and the thin thread that separated courage from folly. Icarus's ambitions of flight, oh, how vividly they fluttered before him, were born from such tales, yet tempered perhaps by the very myths that warned him. The calm voice of his father, always a melody of caution, yet strangely soothing, much like the harmonious hum of bees in the nearby lavender. The daydreams mingled with the simpler, tactile moments of the present. Icarus inhaled the rich scent of olives, heavy and earthy, part of the very air he breathed, grounding him in this particular moment of peace. There was a slow comfort in the repetition of sensory experiences, the way the sunlight flickered through the leaves, dappling the ground in patches of stippled gold, or the familiar taste of sweet figs plucked from the tree, offering a burst of refreshing flavor that stayed on his lips a little while longer. It was during one of those long, thoughtful afternoons that Daedalus approached, his shadow stretching long and thin before him, reminding Icarus of how the two shared so many moments. The elder knew the weight of his son's desires, seeing them like a viscid mist rising with the morning fog, clear in the eyes that mirrored his own hopes once upon a time. Yet with understanding came a slow, deliberate smile, a smile born from years of seeing and doing, each line and crease a chapter of learning, trials, spins, and falls.
"My son," Daedalus spoke softly, his words weaving into the light tapestry of nature's sounds. "Sometimes the sky calls to us with the allure of things unknown and the promise of the horizon. But heed, for even I, who knew the secrets of the labyrinth, have found comfort in these earthen paths." There was a gentle irony shared between the two, like an unspoken understanding that ambition, though a tenacious flame, must sometimes rest beside the cool waters of wisdom. Icarus listened, his eyes absorbing not only his father's words, but the way the light wrapped around them, a soft halo gently suggesting that wisdom, too, is a form of flight. The day continued its gentle procession toward evening, where golden light made way for the soft, cool blues of twilight, a calm whispered promise of dreams to come, a bridge between questions and comfort. It was in these spaces between day and night that Icarus found a peculiar kind of peace, one that wrapped around his dreams rather than smothered them, allowing ambition and patience to coexist for just a while longer. The olive grove faded into the soft embrace of twilight
as stars began to flicker into view, each one a distant promise of realms unexplored. The tranquility of the moment lingered in the air, a gentle blanket of calm that encouraged both reflection and rest as Icarus meandered back along the familiar path toward their sheltered home.
In these dwindling hours, as the world hushed itself to slumber, the narrative of ambition lay peacefully intertwined with memories of the day gone by. Whatever the morrow held was sealed behind the thick curtains of night, yet there too was the comfort of not knowing, a soothing melody of uncertainty played by the harps of old gods whispering dreams.
Imagine, if you will, that we find ourselves gently strolling through the winding pathways of a bustling Cretan marketplace. The air is tinged with the sweet aroma of ripe figs mingling with the brineness of olives, creating a sensory tapestry that feels both familiar and delightfully foreign. Merchants' voices rise and fall in a gentle hum, like a soothing melody carried by the breeze. This bustling scene may seem organized chaos, yet there is an unmistakable rhythm to it, much like watching the slow swell and retreat of the ocean tide. In every corner you can spot hints of craftsmanship and simple ingenuity. Here, a potter carefully molds clay into vessels intended to hold the grains of future provisions. There, a weaver rhythmically threads a wooden loom, crafting vibrant textiles that glitter in the sunlight, like fragments of rainbows captured from the sky. It's as if every item here tells a story, linking the past with the present, knitting the fabric of shared human experience. Yet even amidst the animated energy of this world, one could not help but note the calm precision that guides each movement. The market is a microcosm of life itself, an ever-changing landscape shaped by the people who inhabit it. The gentleness with which they navigate their days speaks to a deeper understanding of harmony and balance, a lesson quietly mirrored in the tale of Icarus, a parable of dreams unbound, danced lovingly across the azure skies. As you move through the market, your senses slightly heightened, you might wonder about health and well-being in such a time. The ancient world held mysteries in its remedies, a tapestry woven from nature's gifts, herbs and spices that soothed the weary, oils and salves that comforted the troubled, dishes infused with fennel and thyme, a healing broth served warm in a terracotta bowl brought not just nourishment, but a serene comfort to the body. Imagine ancient healers with gentle hands skilled in the arts of nature. Their understanding of the body's subtle whisper was both intuitive and deeply connected to the earth's rhythm. When aches and ailments crept in, they would reach for a vial of lavender oil or a sprig of rosemary. The act of healing was not hurried, but rather a meditative practice, a dialogue with the body to uncover its desires and missteps. And when the stars emerged delicately within the wide canvas of the night sky, casting a soft glow over the land, there began the rituals that invited rest, the quiet hum of nighttime lullabies echoing through winding corridors, the softened laughter of a closing feast. These gentle routines unfolded like the petals of night-blooming jasmine, releasing their fragrance in the sheltering dark, preparing their people for the sweet embrace of sleep. Though Icarus's tale was one of ambition, it is equally a reminder of caution and self-awareness. In each generation there exists wisdom, a quiet counsel that echoes through time. Maybe he too sat beneath those stars and pondered dreams not yet born, spiraling gracefully like leaves on the breath of a gentle autumn breeze. So, as you find yourself lulled by the quiet wisdom of the ancients and the whisper of the Aegean winds in our story, let the softness envelop you. feel the gentle cradling of the universe's vast embrace, and in this moment, be still. Allow the calm, like a pervasive melody, to drift through your senses and settle into your being. The pulse of history, a soothing rhythm in the background, lulling you ever so softly into rest.
The room was quiet, save for the occasional soft rustle of feathers brushing against one another. It was a meditative silence, the kind that wrapped itself around the two figures busily engaged in their meticulous work. Daedalus and Icarus were immersed in their task, each focused on the delicate construction of their wings, a blend of innovation and tradition skillfully brought to life with their hands. The workshop smelled faintly of wax and sea salt, an aroma that floated gently in the air, mingling with the earthy scent of damped stone. Daedalus, with his experienced hands, guided the careful placement of each feather with a precision born from years of craftsmanship. Such dedication to detail was not unlike a painter blending colors on a delicate canvas, the wings an extension of his artistic vision and love for engineering. His focus never wavered, his mind weaving through the ancient knowledge that whispered through his lineage, now poured into this ambitious creation. Occasionally, Daedalus would glance at Icarus, offering a soft smile, an unspoken trust in the young man's developing skills as he took to this divine challenge with enthusiasm. Icarus, in contrast, brimmed with youthful energy, his fingers almost dancing over the feathers. Each feather reminded him of the birds he used to watch as a child, how effortlessly they took to the sky, free and boundless. A soft sigh escaped his lips, not out of weariness, but from anticipation of what these wings could mean. Such a marvelous construct could open the skies to him, allow him a taste of the freedom he dreamed of under the sun's golden gaze. His mind wandered, drifting up to those imagined heights where the world below looked no larger than a child's playset. In this sacred space of creation, time seemed to slow, each moment a melodic lullaby of reverie. The shadows danced delicately on the walls, their soft synchronization with the light a soothing reminder of the timeless rhythms of the world. Here, in the confluence of past wisdom and future hopes, Daedalus and Icarus were momentarily cocooned, their shared task a silent communion that transcended words.
This was not just a story about the mythical fall of a young man, but a story of connection between father and son, between mortals and gods, between dreams and reality. Such connections often defined the world then, as they do now. A gentle reminder that ambition and love are threads that bind us through eons and across time. Each wing, carefully constructed, was a testament to this shared legacy, a narrative stitched into the history not just of Icarus, but of humanity itself. As afternoon light warmed the space, wrapping around the figures like a gentle blanket, Icarus placed the final feather. The delicate symmetry of their work hung between them, almost alive with its own quiet promise. He stepped back and met his father's gaze, a moment of shared accomplishment suspended in the sunbeam's soft haze. It was a moment that required no words, a shared pride and an unspoken understanding that they stood on the brink of something remarkably grand, yet profoundly simple. In the soft embrace of light, they marveled at their creation, the wings glistening subtly, imbued with possibility and divine whimsy. This was a moment of tranquility before the storm, a gentle pause where all potential futures hovered in delight. It was a reminder of the delicate balance between dreams and reality, a balance that was and is as fragile as the wings before them.
And so, in that golden room, filled with whispers from both the past and future, Daedalus and Icarus held on to hope, a guiding light as tangible as the wings they crafted. The world around them stilled, cradling their dreams softly in its embrace, painting their hopes across the sky as quietly as the passing of a gentle breeze. As the sun dipped lower, casting a warm amber glow over the horizon, one could almost hear the whispers of the gods, urging caution with a voice as soft as a lullaby, yet as firm as the earth's ancient truths. This was a time for reflection, a moment of sanctuary amidst the grand tapestry of the myths woven around them. As Icarus soared further into the sky, the vibrant hues of the dawn unfurled around him like a painter's divine brushstroke. The air up high was crisp, much like a gentle ocean breeze that greets you during a quiet morning walk by the shore. The world below, a sprawl of gently swaying olive trees and terracotta roofs, seemed to fall away, leaving him cradled in the heavens where silence reigned supreme. Above, the sun began its ascent with all the grandeur of a slow parade, casting a warm light that seeped into every pore, soothing and revitalizing the spirit simultaneously. The sensation of flight was one of serene mastery, a gentle rise and fall with each beat of his wings, each movement a dance in perfect harmony with the rhythm of the universe. The feathers, carefully crafted and painstakingly attached with wax, held strong, transforming him into a creature of myth. The wind whispered around Icarus, curling and unfurling like a playful mist, caressing his skin, ruffling through his hair. It was as if nature itself had become a companion on his journey, sharing in the quiet joy of unencumbered freedom. Below him, his father Daedalus flew with careful, calculated ease, his eyes occasionally rising to check on his son, aware of the boundless enthusiasm that bubbled within the boy. The elder craftsman's mind was a tapestry of thoughtful planning and whispered cautionary tales, a mind that understood too well the balance of human ambition and the natural limits set by gods and nature. Icarus, however, was absorbed in the here and now, in the visceral reality of being one with the vast expanse of sky. His thoughts floated gently, like leaves on a quiet stream. Every so often bursts of soft laughter, like bubbles surfacing in a serene pond, escaped his lips, carried away by the breezes to mingle with the songs of distant larks. There was a purity in this joy, untainted by the complexities that weigh heavier hearts. His mind did not dwell on the mechanics of the wings, nor the physics of flight. Instead, it was filled with the simple, profound pleasure of existing in the moment. The lessons learned at his father's side of ingenuity and caution drifted to the background, eclipsed by the sensation of limitless potential that seemed to be infused in each gust, lifting him higher. And then there was the sun, radiant and beckoning. It loomed as both an end and a beginning, a comforting beacon that both promised warmth and whispered warnings to those who ventured too close. It reminded one of the gentle flame of a hearth on a winter's eve, inviting yet commanding respect. Its light a reminder of stories aged as the stones of Greek temples, each tale a thread woven into the rich tapestry of human experience and understanding. In this quiet euphoria, Icarus flirted with the boundaries of human endeavor, teetering on the edge of myth and mortality. The sky, vast and enveloping, was a sanctuary and a challenge, each breath of wind a silent inquiry. How far will you dare to go, beloved dreamer? The answer lay not in thought, but in the gentle arcs and graceful swerves that marked his flight's path,
a harmonious ballet of instinct and aspiration. As the world blurred beneath him, boundaries dissolved, leaving only a boundless expanse of potential, whispering through the ether. Here, ambition was featherlight, floating in the crisp morning air between what is known and what could be, a tantalizing promise nestling in the folds of a dream. The sun's golden touch spread across the undulating sea, creating a molten pathway stretching to the horizon, a natural invitation to worlds beyond, whispered secrets carried on the breeze. In this serene space, time slowed to a soft heartbeat, each pulse a gentle reminder of a moment suspended between the mundane and the extraordinary. And after soaring high on the wings of dreams, the simple act of gliding back before crossing the horizon became not a retreat, but a soft embrace of what is, viewed through the lens of aspiration. It served as a reminder that even the greatest dreams are born from a collection of gentle moments, stepping stones carefully laid through time's gentle expanse. This moment, like a gentle dawn breaking over Olympus's rolling hills, wrapped around his very being, and though the wax began to soften under the sun's tender caress, the moment transcended caution, existing purely in the infinite expanse where silence meets song. Here, unbounded by fear and free,
The sun's golden touch spread across the undulating sea, creating a molten pathway stretching to the horizon, a natural invitation to worlds beyond, whispered secrets carried on the breeze. In this serene space, time slowed to a soft heartbeat, each pulse a gentle reminder of a moment suspended between the mundane and the extraordinary. And after soaring high on the wings of dreams, the simple act of gliding back before crossing the horizon became not a retreat, but a soft embrace of what is, viewed through the lens of aspiration. It served as a reminder that even the greatest dreams are born from a collection of gentle moments, stepping stones carefully laid through time's gentle expanse. This moment, like a gentle dawn breaking over Olympus's rolling hills, wrapped around his very being. And though the wax began to soften under the sun's tender caress, the moment transcended caution, existing purely in the infinite expanse where silence meets song. Here, unbounded by fear and free of constraint, Icarus could feel the ancient stories in his bones, the truths whispered in every lullaby that buffered him to sleep, and morning dove song that gently roused him awake. The flight, a symphony of wonder and knowing, reminded him that even the most delicate balance of dreams and reality is but a prelude to the infinite symphony of existence, each note soft and uncertain, yet growing in the fullness of creation's breathy sigh.
And so, with feathered wings spread wide, Icarus became but a single note in this eternal melody, a gentle drift of morning mist over sparkling waters, a reminder of the stories that linger softly where sky kisses sea and the sacred meets the serene. In those last languid moments, when dreams of flight and gravity gently wove together, a softer tale of yearning emerged, a melody that lingered, whispered through the ages, a reminder that within the fragile heart of every dreamer lies the echo of Icarus's softly intrepid journey. As you find yourself transported to the tranquil coastlines of ancient Crete, the atmosphere is imbued with a sense of introspective calm. Here, the bustling energy of city life gives way to the soothing embrace of nature's simplicity. The gentle rhythm of the sea provides a constant, comforting hum, like a soft lullaby sung by the earth itself.
With each incoming wave, it feels as though a new story unfolds at the water's edge, only to be gathered back into the ocean's depths. The beaches of Crete are a beautiful landscape of time. The sand, warmed by the day's sun, feels soft and inviting beneath bare feet. Walking along the shoreline, you can almost imagine artisans and traders relaxing here after a long day's work. They might sit watching the distant horizon, sharing stories of starlight voyages and adventures across the wide Mediterranean, away from the tasks that filled their daily existence. The air is infused with a salty tang, mingled with the faint aroma of olive groves nearby, their silvery leaves whispering softly in the ocean breeze. In the distance, a solitary shepherd guides his small flock along the rolling hills. His presence is a reminder of a life attuned to nature's cycles, moving with the seasons, guided by an instinctual understanding of the land and its gifts. This coastline, with its warm embrace, is no stranger to the stories of gods and mortals. In the stillness, you may ponder how our stories remain tethered to the landscapes that birthed them. Here, the tale of Icarus unfolds with a new perspective, a story not just of ambition and consequence, but of the choices that define us.
Imagine Daedalus, the master craftsman, sitting on a rocky outcrop, looking at the sky with a wistful gaze. In the myth, he constructs wings with meticulous care, weaving together sinew, wax, and feathers. You can almost hear the gentle clink of metal tools tinkering against stone, an ambient accompaniment to the more important mantra that patience and precision are rewarded with innovation. The wings, once lifeless objects, transform under his skilled hands into symbols of hope and escape, a tangible representation of human ingenuity and aspiration. As you reflect on Daedalus's work, you might consider how his eyes, like ours, looked toward the possibilities beyond the immediate horizon, each feather a dream, each thread a connection to a greater tapestry of culture and technology. In your mind's eye, the finished wings are not just tools for flight, but a testament to humanity's perpetual desire to transcend the limitations imposed by nature and circumstance. It is easy to picture Icarus in those quiet moments before his fateful flight, standing at the water's edge, feeling the cool kiss of the ocean breeze against his skin. There's a sense of anticipation, perhaps mixed with a touch of trepidation. Wings in hand, future limitless, the horizon beckons him as it has all those who seek to chart their own destinies. In Icarus, we see the youthful impatience for the promise of something grander than one's current world, a curiosity to explore the realms of possibility that dreams can afford. Such was the allure of flight for Icarus, an opportunity to break free from earthly bonds. Yet his story, familiar to many, is one of balance, of knowing when to push the boundaries and when to respect the wisdom of tradition. His fate, intertwined with that of the wings that bore him, stands as a gentle lesson written in the sky.
In your own moments of reflection, consider how this myth extends beyond its tragic conclusion. While Icarus is often remembered for his fall, the tale is equally about the courage to rise, to embrace each moment of flight. What heart-stirring thrill must have filled his chest when he first left the ground behind, a brief but brilliant ascension born from the very heart of human endeavor. In this chapter of Icarus's story, let us also pay homage to Daedalus's legacy. He represents the timeless archetype of the craftsman, someone who wields not only tools but imagination, constructing pathways to dreams. His journey is about learning and passing on knowledge, a continuous cycle reflected in the very crafts we still explore today.
The tale of Icarus captivates and consoles, a meditation on hope and humility as tenets of both wisdom and folly. It becomes a lullaby not of definitive failure, but of the everlasting quest to harmonize ambition with awareness. As our narrative gently arcs toward closure, like the slow turning of sand through an ancient clock, think of the wings for a moment longer, how they embodied human aspiration. Crafted from nature's bounty and human spirit, they became the poet's brush to an eternal canvas, where beacons of innovation draw softly against the backdrop of time.
And as the sun dips ever lower along the horizon of our imagined Crete, pay mind to how stories, like shores, offer a tranquil solitude out of their inherent bustle. With each retelling, they remind us of the importance of knowing how much can be enough, and when it is that we must gently let go. The final notes are a reminder, too, that the world continues its quiet turn, a chance for reflection, perhaps even a soft smile, at the gentle irony in seeking heights that we aren't always meant to keep. Our oldest stories echo, with grains of teaching scattered, pearls of wisdom smoothed by ages into the lessons we cradle as we drift softly into peaceful rest.
Imagine, if you will, a quiet morning on the shores of Crete, a time when the island was wrapped in the sleepy embrace of dawn's first light. The air is cool and crisp, carrying with it the faint scent of the sea and blooming wildflowers. Olive trees stand as silent guardians, their gnarled branches whispering softly with the breeze. It's a scene that transcends time, offering a peaceful sanctuary far from the chaotic hustle of modern life. As you wander through this ancient landscape, you might stumble upon the sight of a young shepherd tending to his flock. His movements are relaxed and unhurried, his life dictated by the gentle rhythm of the natural world around him. Each day begins as a symphony of simple tasks, leading the sheep to pasture, gathering fresh water from a nearby spring, and perhaps enjoying a brief rest under the dappled shade of an olive tree. This routine, though monotonous to some, embodies the harmony of humanity living in quiet concert with its environment. In this tranquil setting, one might ponder the life of a certain mythological figure, young Icarus, famed for his fateful flight. It's easy to imagine Icarus, in his youth, absorbing the serenity of his surroundings, each detail seeping into his life and dreams. The interaction of sunlight and shadow, the whisper of the wind through olive leaves, these sensory experiences formed the backdrop of his world, shaping his ambitions and imagination. Consider the daily realities of Icarus and his father Daedalus, skilled craftsmen and inventors of their time. Their days were likely filled with the rhythmic sounds of chisels and hammers, a melody of labor, dedication, and meticulous creation. You would hear the soft murmur of fatherly advice, laced with the wisdom of past mistakes and dreams of new endeavors. The tactile feel of cool stone under fingers, the intricate details of metal fittings shaped under Daedalus's skilled hands. These were markers of their shared craft and bonds, creating not only artifacts, but also memories.
In the heart of their workshop, life was a dance of creation and contemplation. One could visualize Daedalus instructing his son with patience, guiding him through the art of crafting that bridged the realms of myth and reality. The texture of smooth wood and the tang of burning oil mingling with their quiet banter became the essence of their days. Here they toiled tirelessly for an eternity of mornings and many quiet evenings, lost in the pursuit of perfection. Daedalus was not only a master of his craft, but also a visionary, always pondering over new inventions. Each new idea was like a whisper of a dream, sparked from the imagination that soared as high as the birds they watched wheeling in the clear blue sky. For young Icarus, those flights inspired dreams of freedom and flight unbound. Perhaps in his yearning gaze he saw himself touching the heavens unfettered, borne aloft on gossamer wings crafted by their hands, a legacy of ambition aspiring for the firmament beyond. Take a moment to linger on this scene, friends, lost in their work but forever sharing a silent conversation. Through every glance and small nod, through every shared smile that spoke of pride and unspoken hopes. These are the moments that tether us to one another against the rush of time's swift passage. Each shavings of wood or stroke of metal was like a memory being etched, both in the mind and on the canvas of their lives. As the day unfolds within this gentle rhythm, Icarus stands upon the cliffs, peering out into the endless expanse where sky meets sea. The gentle lapping of the waves below speaks to a world of possibilities, a call to the adventurous spirit that dwells within him. The ever-present sound of wind rushes by like a familiar song, promising excitement and the lure of something greater.
Allow yourself to bask in the curiosity and wonder that fills Icarus's heart. It invites you to remember a time when you too may have gazed up at the sky, your thoughts filled with dreams of flight, of escape, of achieving what was once thought impossible. In those moments of quiet reflection, both he and you become intertwined with the boundless sky, a tapestry woven with aspiration and the echoes of history itself. To stand on the brink of adventure, to feel both the anticipation of flight and the heavy tether of the earth below, a juxtaposition of serenity and unease. In this balance, Icarus finds his solace. He is not simply defying gravity, he is embracing the very quintessence of being, the inner calling that pulls him upward. And so, let these thoughts gently guide you into a deeper understanding of ambition's tranquil core. It is not merely the pursuit of the extraordinary that drives Icarus, and perhaps yourself, but the innate desire for harmony between dreams and reality, a space where imaginative flight meets the grounded existence of everyday life. Pause here for a moment and breathe deeply, inhaling the salt-tinged air, the essence of olives and distant pine. As you do, you become part of their world, floating in a timeless reverie where life's greatest journeys often begin with a single, tentative step towards the unknown. Reflect on this journey of father and son, of artisan and dreamer, of the boundless and the finite, as it echoes across time. A gentle reminder that history's stories are not relics to be enshrined and forgotten, but living dreams waiting to arouse our own aspirations under a sky that watches patiently over us all. In the calm embrace of this timeless story, may you find a space of tranquility amidst the complexities of the modern world. A soft smile, gentle like a whisper, touches your lips as these ancient tales beckon with promises of peace and understanding, guiding you ever softly towards restful slumber. As the first light of dawn unraveled across the Aegean sky, those gentle hues of pink and gold unwrapped the night's mysteries, kissing the vast expanse of the sea with a whisper of warmth. Imagine standing there, feeling the cool sand beneath your feet, damp from the retreating tide, and listening to the comforting cadence of waves as they caress the shore. This is where we'll find ourselves, on Crete's ancient coast, on the cusp of a story intertwined with the heavens.
In this early light, we see Daedalus, the architect who once built the labyrinthine maze for King Minos. His hands, calloused yet skilled, now work with feathers and wax by the shore. The feathers, some large, others delicate, lie in neat rows, ready to become part of something greater. Can you see the meticulous craftsmanship in each piece? And can you smell the beeswax warmed by the sun, fragrant and earthy? Daedalus, ever the innovator, is crafting an escape, a pair of wings inspired by the birds that dance so freely above. Beside him, his son Icarus watches with wide, wondering eyes. There's a youthful eagerness about him, an impatience spurred by the stirrings of youth. Yet there is something grounding in Daedalus's calm guidance as he shows Icarus how to lay each feather just right, how to press the wax with care. Picture a tender moment as Daedalus pauses to share a smile, a silent understanding passing between them. In this quiet exchange there lies a lesson. Humans, too, can reach for the sky, but not without respect for the air beneath their wings. Now, breathe deeply and imagine the sensation of this place. The warm sun casting gentle rays upon your skin like an affectionate touch from the universe itself. The earth gives off a faint, musky scent, a fragrance evanescent, evoking ancient histories buried within its layers. The sea sings its secret songs, a melody of eternal blue and timeless whispers, lapping quietly on the rocky crags.
In these early hours, the world is unhurried. The island is wrapped in a soft, contemplative quiet, the kind that fills empty spaces without crowding them, much like the bond between Daedalus and Icarus, a space where invention and dreams intermingle peacefully. The wings come to life slowly under Daedalus's expert craftsmanship. Each feather is chosen with care, each clump of beeswax melted gently and applied with just the right pressure. It's a labor of love, a creation both whimsical and profound. As Daedalus fits the leather straps for his son, he imparts a few final words, a father's gentle nudge and a cautionary tale of caution itself. He speaks softly, his voice carried away like a tender breeze. Remember, Icarus, do not fly too close to Helios, for the sun will melt the wax. Nor should you descend too low, lest the spray of Poseidon's wrath weigh you down. It's a parable as ancient as ambition itself, this delicate dance between aspiration and caution, risk and respect. Icarus nods earnestly, his eyes alight with the kind of confidence that only youth knows. For him, the wings are not just a means of escape, but a promise of glory, a chance to touch the heavens, to leave behind the labyrinths that bound him. There is something beautiful in his innocent resolve, and something achingly relatable as we too often yearn to test our limits, to defy the chains of earthly tethers in hopes of glimpsing something transcendent.
In this moment, feel the pulse of anticipation hovering in the air. The wings rest lightly against their backs, swaying softly like the gentle rustles of sleep. They're objects of both freedom and faith, a testament to human curiosity, that undying spark lighting the soul as it gazes at a sky brimming with possibilities. The earth begins its slow, deliberate spin towards first light, the pale fingers of dawn steadily deepening as the constant calm of the sea envelops the whispers of men with secrets of its own. There is no rush, only readiness and reverence, as if the entire island holds its breath for what is to come. Together, Daedalus and Icarus stand at the edge of both land and sky,
the horizon stretching unbroken before them, the vastness of it all like the greatest amphitheater a mind could imagine, mirroring the boundless heavens. This is where history bends softly to give rise to legends, that moment of quiet before the fated blink when one dares to extend a hand towards the gods. Let your own heart beat in time with this story, carried by the cadence of waves. There's something comforting to know that even in tales of flight, there's room for us all to dream, to create, and to find peace in both the soaring and the grounding. Rest easy now, as even among life's dizzying aspirations, within the array of everything, a moment of calm always finds its place, like a petal embracing its descent into the embrace of earth and sea.
The gentle lapping of the sea against the rocks creates a rhythm that feels eternal. It's a sound that has accompanied countless generations, a soothing lullaby that quiets the mind and invites contemplation. Picture yourself there, on this ancient coast, with history woven into every grain of sand, every smooth pebble beneath your feet. As you walk along the shore, imagine the faint cries of seabirds overhead, their calls echoing and mixing with the persistent sigh of the sea. The air smells faintly of salt, fresh and brisk, while the warmth of the sun wraps around you like a soft, comforting blanket. It's a place and a time just right for reflection, for thinking of a story as timeless and gently familiar as that of Icarus and Daedalus. In this moment, let's turn our thoughts back to Daedalus. Skilled and resourceful, he was a man whose mind forever sought to unravel the mysteries around him. Inside the labyrinthine intricacies of his thoughts, ideas blossomed like flowers touched by sunlight, the kind that seem at times almost impossible in their complexity and beauty. Working by lamplight, his hands moved deftly with materials that only a man of his skill could transform into objects of wonder. Imagine him in his workshop, surrounded by the necessary things of his craft: thick bundles of reeds tied with twine, wood shavings scattered across a dusty floor, the air infused with the rich scent of beeswax and sandalwood hanging in the atmosphere. His focus was absolute, the kind of concentration that we often seek but rarely find in our everyday lives, pushing aside the noise and rush that accompany modern routines. In these moments, there's a serenity in Daedalus's meticulous work. The sound of a tool being sharpened, the wood gently carved, is a balm against the complexities of the world. It's easy, here, to think of how they, like us, found peace in the creation of something new, a reminder that creativity can be both an escape and a fulfillment of our innermost desires and ambitions. There's a lesson quietly whispered through time about ambition. On one hand, it draws us forward, igniting inspiration and innovation. Yet Daedalus understands, a point worth reflecting on, that too much ambition might tempt one to forget the humble actions which underpin true fulfillment. A delicate balance, like a finely crafted set of wings designed to brush the skies with respect rather than hubris. Now, let us turn to Icarus, youthful and spirited, whose energy is like the first light of dawn, bright, promising, and full of eager potential. You can envision him, perhaps, near the shoreline where dreams feel tangible and the future appears limitless. There is that particular fearlessness that only youth brings. He listens to his father's wisdom, but his heart beats to its own spontaneous rhythm, driven to explore more than just the confines of their immediate world. The sun hangs low on the horizon as father and son come together to work.
Their relationship, one of mutual respect and occasional tension, draws a fascinating picture of family dynamics that remain similar even today. The act of constructing their escape from Crete serves as both a literal and symbolic expression of hope and ambition. Wings take shape under their skilled fingers, each feather a lesson in patience, each thread a testament to hope's gentle persistence.
This collaborative creation harmonizes with the quiet hum of the island, the whisper of wind through dry graphith, the rhythmic call of the cicadas. Here, with his father by his side, Icarus learns not only the craft of building wings, but also the delicate art of balancing dreams against reality's grounding force. It's a balance we all strive toward, reaching higher while maintaining our awareness that we are ultimately part of a world illuminated by the warm glow of possibility. So even as you drift toward the peaceful embrace of slumber, hold on to this tranquil thought about dreams taking flight. Ambition tempered by wisdom, reaching ever outward while remaining gently tethered to the supportive presence of the ground beneath your feet. An enduring lesson from a gentle morning on an ancient shore, whispering across the ages to us today. In the quiet hours that follow, as the last light of day softly cradles the island, Daedalus closes his eyes, dreaming of a different future while remembering his past. The promise of using these wings to journey anew stretches before him, a promise that life, with all of its unexpected turns, might still offer freedom and wonder. We can find solace in such dreams, even in the gentle hum of our busy lives. For companions in their shadowed workshop, father and son carved their shared destiny amid the tranquil evening air, a testament to the power of family, of ambition, and the wisdom to navigate both with care and hope.
You find yourself on a journey alongside Icarus, his spirit as boundless and ever-reaching as the soft waves lapping at your feet. Imagine the tender twilight sky, a tapestry of lavender and pink, and the sea cradling secrets and whispers between each gentle crest. This space is where you stand, as Icarus once did, engulfed by the day's fading warmth and the early embrace of night. The air is a comforting balm, saturated with the salty aroma of the sea, a fragrance both ancient and unchanging. You close your eyes to it, letting it take you back not just to Icarus, but to the heart of his world, the promises and perils that filled his days. Think of Daedalus, the father, the craftsman whose hands sculpted miracles from mere dreams. Together, they were two souls tethered not just by blood, but by the audacity to flirt with the impossible. Through the lens of history, we can sense the mundane woven with magic. Consider the daily life beneath the grandeur, small moments drenched with the gentle vibrations of family life. Daedalus, with his meticulous demeanor, crafting yet another small invention, perhaps a toy for the little ones of the island. Tools familiar in his hands, making soft rhythmic sounds as they connect with wood, like an ancient lullaby repeating itself through the ages. And Icarus, young, hopeful, curiously watching. Imagine him leaning over his father's shoulder, his eyes wide with the luminous glow of dawn's first light spilling through the open windows. His dreams would spiral skyward while his father focused intently on the work in his hands. Yet each wooden shave, each careful twist of string taught them both patience.
The workshop, filled with the fragrance of sawdust and beeswax, a place where evenings weren't delineated by clocks, but by the gradual dimming of daylight. You can almost hear the quiet cadences of their conversation,
a soft harmony with the earthy smells that linger long after work ceases for the day. As we blend into their routine, we find ourselves drawn into a realm where time thins, expanding like the universe itself. Do you see it, the miniature cosmos crafted upon that workbench? There, amidst the clutter and creation, lies a model of wings, half-formed, whispering promises of flights unfathomed. It's an ordinary part of their surroundings, and yet it bears the markings of an extraordinary dream. Such was the fabric of their lives, a tapestry where work and wonder were interwoven threads. In these reflective hours, what was it that coursed through Icarus's thoughts? Perhaps he dreamed of stars. Perhaps in the deep wells of his imagination he stored visions of soaring through the tapestry of sky. And yet it's in these gentle, ordinary moments that we find rest, where daydreaming builds into an art of its own, nurturing tranquil aspirations. Moments like these, silent yet vibrant, with a backdrop to their world, flesh and blood submerged in daily tranquility, dreams crafted carefully between dusk and dawn. As these scenes unfold, allow your thoughts to wander in tandem. There's a gentle assurance in knowing that past worries like those of Daedalus and Icarus flow gently into the current of time, slowly dissolving into history's vastness.
As you drift in to this soothing interlude of their lives, feel the connection, a thread woven through humanity's perpetual tapestry, a reminder that beneath lofty ambitions and legendary wings, the essence of our shared story lies in quiet moments of contemplation and communal effort. Breathe in deeply. Let this ancient air fill your lungs. It's the same air that swirled around their dreams and whispers. For just as those ancient ambitions fluttered toward infinite skies, we too can rise, buoyed by the collective dreams and desires woven into our fabric. Allow yourself to glide soundlessly through this tranquility, a quiet observer to tales as timeless as these stars above. With each breath, a reminder occurs. Though the landscapes change and time pushes ever forward, the heart of dreams, ambitions, and gentle pursuits remain constants, the heartbeats of life's endless cycle. Unfurl yourself to this moment of calm, where stories of ancient might mingle softly with the velvet hush of the present, and where tranquility, like the light of that ancient sun, promises to rise anew each day. In the soft morning light, the village slept under a veil of rising mist. The air was cool, carrying with it the scents of salt and wildflowers that dotted the cliffs above the gently lapping Aegean Sea. Here, in this quietly stirring world, young Icarus found himself lost in the delicate dance of creation. His fingers moved with gentle precision, examining the intricate structure of a single feather. He marveled at the softness, the play of light across its surface as it caught the early sun. So gentle, so fragile, yet part of a grander vision that whispered to him through dreams of flight and freedom. The village wasn't large, perhaps a few dozen families nestled close enough to the shore to draw sustenance from the sea, yet far enough to guard against its occasional fury. Life here moved with a rhythm dictated by the sun and seasons. People rose with the light and rested as it faded, their days an interweaving of labor and storytelling, practical needs and shared dreams. For Icarus, these mornings brought a tranquil solitude, a time to puzzle over the plans that his father, Daedalus, laid out. In those sketches and designs, there was a promise of something beyond the horizon, an invitation to the skies. Across the courtyard, the familiar figures of hens scratched at the earth, their gentle clucking,
and the warm smell of straw mingling with the scent of fresh bread that drifted from neighboring homes. Icarus loved this peaceful hour, where the only sounds were those of nature waking, a parenthesis in the day before the whispers of ambition took hold. As he sat beside a stone wall, the texture cool beneath his touch, he let his mind wander, tracing the pathways of possibility that twined through his thoughts like the vines that climbed their house walls. In the distance, atop a small rise, the workshop of Daedalus stood like a sentinel, the morning light shimmering off its tiled roof. Icarus knew every nook and cranny of that place, the textures of its stone steps underfoot, the scent of sawdust and wool neatly intermingled with beeswax. It was a world of ideas that took form, a symphony of small, everyday sounds, the scrape of metal on wood, the soothing whisper of moving fabric, the rhythmic beat of a hammer. This was the cradle of the dream, where wings were not just envisioned, but brought into being, piece by careful piece.
As Icarus stepped through the oaken door, the air inside was a warm embrace, gently humming with the life of creation. His father stood hunched over a workbench, a figure of quiet strength, absorbed in the art and science of their endeavor. To watch Daedalus work was to see fluidity in order, each motion deliberate, yet infused with a soft grace. He molded and shaped, coaxing the materials to yield, sculpting them into components of their great notion. Icarus approached, feeling the subtle shift of cool stone to warmer wood beneath his feet. Each step echoed in the serene quietude of the room, a reminder of the space between past and future, a temporal connection that bound father and son to this shared quest. He moved to stand beside Daedalus, drawn by the magnetic allure of the almost complete avian marvel splayed across the table. Here were dreams made tangible, a tapestry of downy grays, rich browns, and snowy whites woven together with skill and hope. "Are they ready?" Icarus asked softly, his voice a gentle current in the stillness, carrying his curiosity and a trace of eagerness. His father turned, a knowing smile in his eyes, lines of experience etching their stories across his features. "They're close," he replied, the words settling like a promise. "What do you see, Icarus?" Icarus gazed at the wings, the exquisite craftsmanship, somehow both familiar and new with each glance. "I see a way forward," he answered. "But mostly, Father, I feel them. It's as if they call to me, promising tales yet untold." Daedalus nodded, satisfied by this shared understanding, and together they continued the gentle work, a harmony of presence and purpose. They labored in silence, broken only by the soft breath of the sea breeze that slipped through the open windows, cooling their concentration and mingling with the warmth of their endeavors. As midday approached, the light in the workshop shifted, becoming a rich golden hue, casting playful shadows that danced across the walls and floor. Their morning's progress was marked by the quiet satisfaction that fills the soul after honest work, the laying down of the tools, a soft punctuation to a chapter nearly complete. At this moment, standing amid dreams on the verge of flight, time seemed to pause. There was tranquility here, a peace found in the presence of potential, held aloft by dreams old and new, by love and ambition, by visions that soared beyond earthly bonds. As Icarus gazed out toward the endless expanse of sky beyond their door, he saw the freedom they sought, felt it as if it had already become truth. The tale of flight had gently unfolded and nestled itself within his heart, a soothing promise of the horizons to come. With a shared glance, and a smile that needed no words, father and son took their well-earned rest beneath the sun-warmed stones of the courtyard wall, where the stories of creation and flight now waited patiently to be told. As Icarus strode through the awakening world, the morning light painted delicate patterns upon the path before him, like nature's own intricate lacework gently woven across the landscape. The cool breeze that kissed his skin carried with it the saltiness of the sea, blending the scents of distant olive groves and freshly tilled earth, a fragrance both invigorating and grounding. Life in these parts had a cadence all its own, an unhurried and cyclical rhythm that seemed to echo in the beat of Icarus's own heart. Down by the water's edge, fishermen began their routine, as timeless as the tides themselves. Their hands, leathered and strong, worked deftly, casting nets with a practiced grace that bespoke lifetimes spent entangled with the sea. Each haul was a mix of treasures and toil, slippery fish flashing silver in the sunlight like coins of Poseidon's vault, and tangled seaweed clinging like antique tapestries. Icarus watched, his eyes tracing the elegance of their labor, the ocean a vast canvas that shifted under their touch. It was here, amidst the salt-crusted boats and the rhythmic lap of the wood against the sea, that one could lose oneself, becoming one with the unhurried dance of nature. If you listened closely, you might catch the whispers of ancient gods woven into the wind, promises or warnings floating just beyond the horizon. Further inland, the market stirred with a lazy vitality, the kind that builds gradually, unhurried by the passing of minutes. The air hummed with the quiet chatter of buyers and sellers, punctuated here and there by the occasional call or laughter. There was a certain harmony in the way life unfolded in this space, each encounter a note in a larger symphony, resonating with the warmth of community and the shared experience of everyday life. Stalls overflowed with goods, vibrant oranges, pomegranates bursting with color and promise, and amphorae brimming with olive oil whose golden hues rivaled the sun itself. Pottery gleamed with polished care, their surfaces as smooth as the stories they might one day share. As Icarus wandered among them, he couldn't help but marvel at the textures and scents, at once alien and familiar, like memories of dreams half forgotten upon waking. Here was where the spirit of innovation thrived, in the details of daily life, in crafting, in trade, in the gentle competition of who could sell the sweetest honey or the finest cloth. And yet beneath the surface lay the ever-present pulse of simplicity, a reminder that there was beauty in just being, in the quiet moments of existence that require nothing more than presence. As mid-morning eased its way into the day, Icarus found solace in the shelter of an olive grove, a leafy sanctuary where the world seemed to pause, heavy with a benevolent silence. Here the sun streamed through branches, scattering light and shadow with a casual brilliance that made everything feel connected, the trees, the earth, the sky. He reclined against a gnarled trunk, its bark rough against his back, grounding him with its ancient wisdom. Above, the leaves rustled gently, their delicate dance almost as if they were whispering secrets between themselves. Icarus let the symphony of cicadas envelop him, their rhythmic song as old as time itself, and as soothing as a lullaby sung by the earth.
In this calm, boundless moment, thoughts of flight seemed at once both distant and near. Dreams of soaring were cradled by the wind, buoyed up by gentle gusts.
the vision of arms stretching to match the flight of birds above, such graceful, tireless gliders of the skies, filled him with a comforting aspiration. Here, removed from the hustle of the ordinary, the ambition of flight became not a matter of urgency, but of gentle wonder. What might it feel like to slip the bonds of earth, to feel air brush the face in soft caresses as you glide ever higher? As surely as dreams are woven from the fabric of hope, Icarus found his thoughts returning to the art of feathercraft, the intricacies of wax and wing. But above all, it was the feel of the soft earth beneath him, the warm sun on his skin, and the air rich with life that reassured him ambitions reached through calm contemplation rather than restless striving could indeed be sweet companions on the path within this world. And so, here in the olive grove, with time unwound and suspended about him, he rested in the gentle embrace of patience and aspiration, content to while away the hours amidst nature's own quiet symphony. Inspiration found him in this sacred stillness, traced itself across the open canvas of the sky above, vast and infinite, a realm of dreams ready to be danced upon by those brave enough to tread softly. As the sun began its journey to the horizon, twilight painted a new picture across the heavens, warm and inviting, urging the day to close gently and for dreams to take silent flight. Here expectation lay softly, like a blanket covering the world in readiness for what was to come, a chance to explore the realms beyond, held aloft by the beating wings of imagination. In this sacred moment, as night gradually swept over, Icarus knew that true ambition lay not just in the chase, but in finding peace within one's own spirit, a balance as delicate and intricate as the wings he would one day bear.
In this peaceful landscape of ancient Greece, life unfolds at a gentle pace. As the sun sets, it stains the sky in watercolor hues of orange and pink that blend into the coming twilight. Villagers, dressed in simple garments of natural fibers, find themselves winding down from the day's activities. There's a palpable relaxation in the air, a surrender to the rhythm of the earth as it shifts focus from day to night. For the villagers, evening marks a significant transition, a blend of tranquility and anticipation. Meals are prepared leisurely over gentle fires, filling the air with the comforting aroma of herbs and freshly baked bread. Women, often gathered in small groups, sit weaving baskets or spinning wool, their hands moving deftly in practiced patterns. Men chit-chat softly about the day's tasks, their voices mingling with the quiet buzz of insects and the distant bleat of goats returning home for the night. Children, their laughter like little pebbles cascading through the gentle stream of the village soundscape, play in the field's margins. Their games echo stories of old, handed down through the generations, heroes, myths, and legends that are laced into the fabric of their culture. Today, one story in particular dances on the cool evening breeze, the tale of soaring ambition and the lessons it imparts, the tale of Icarus. The story unfolds as a narrative reflection on human ambition and the exquisite dance of achieving dreams while balancing the delicate threads of caution and wisdom. In one household, perched on the incline of a friendly hill, a father tells his son about Icarus, a lad not much older than the boy listening with wide eyes. Icarus, he explains, was gifted with wings crafted from feathers and wax, conjured by ingenuity and the yearning to rise above the constraints of solid ground.
The boy imagines the feel of those wings, the texture of feathers, soft and pliable, yet promising strength against gravity's pull. With closed eyes, he dreams of flight, the exhilarating rush of wind against his skin, the dizzying expanse of landscape unfurling beneath him like an elaborate tapestry. The father's voice is a lullaby of wisdom wrapped in the comfort of familiarity. He speaks of the sunlit sky, the boldness it takes to reach for it, and the risk inherent in unmeasured ambition. As with Icarus, who was drawn ever closer to the glaring embrace of the sun, there is a delicate line between aspiration and folly. The villagers know this balance too well, their lives deeply entwined with the cycle of the earth, the patient cultivation of crops, the careful tending of livestock, and the unwavering respect for natural limits.
In this collective dreaming, the quiet heartbeat of village life continues. There is a rhythm here that speaks less of constraints and more of harmonizing with what is possible. The villagers understand the value of patience, each task completed as part of the whole, each moment savored in its own slow unfolding. The quiet end of the day is when they gather these moments together as threads in the fabric of ordinary yet extraordinary lives. As the world, vast yet intimate, slows its pulse in the gentle embrace of night, the tale of Icarus floats through open windows and closed eyelids. It settles in like a gentle reminder whispered in dreams. To fly is a wondrous thing, but to know which heights to reach for is to truly understand the art of living. And so the village rests, cradled in the warmth of a timeless lesson beneath a tapestry of starlight.
As the first light of dawn began its gentle cascade over Crete's rugged terrain, the coastline emerged with a timeless grace. The rhythmic sound of waves slipping upon the shore created a mesmerizing music that nature shares only with the early risers. Here, at the heart of this eternal dance between land and sea, one might pause to wonder how many lives had been shaped by these tranquil shores. Among these stories, the legend of Icarus and his father Daedalus stands forever etched in the tapestry of myth and memory. Reflecting upon the tale of Icarus, one is prompted to ponder the quiet mornings when Daedalus, the skilled artisan and thinker, might have sat beside his son, watching the horizon unfurl before him. Woven into the warming sun's embrace, a breakfast of simple fare would bring together the tactile pleasures of their routine. Crusty bread, honey so golden it seemed to flow directly from the sun, and perhaps a handful of wild fruits collected during their walks. Imagine, if you will, the sensation of the cool earth beneath them, fragrant with crushed leaves and sea salt. The conversations that unfolded in those leisurely mornings, in no rush of passing time, would be a rich blend of practical advice, shared dreams, and gentle nudges towards understanding the world's larger mysteries. It was within these moments of shared silence and soft words that much of Daedalus's wisdom would be imparted, layer by layer, much like the crafting of his intricate inventions. As they wandered through the olive groves that lined the island, the leaves overhead formed a shifting tapestry of light and shadow. This dappled dance was a testament to the ever-changing balance of life that Daedalus wished Icarus to understand. Such moments revealed to Icarus the beauty and complexity of the world, grounding in him a deep-seated curiosity paired with the initial stirrings of ambition. Yet, in the stillness of those sun-dappled paths, what thoughts lingered in Icarus's mind? He was, after all, on the threshold of manhood, his ability to dream vast and untamed like the great sea stretching out before him. It's a sensation not unfamiliar, that heady blend of invincibility and exploration, like testing the edges of something not yet fully understood,
challenging the boundaries while savoring the exhilaration of untouched possibilities. During these clearing moments, with the wisdom of hindsight, you might sense the inklings of Daedalus's deeper concerns, not a fear for his inventions, but for the magnitude of his son's impending journey. Daedalus understood the delicate line where ambition meets prudence. His heart, holding a father's love, bore the weight of foresight, knowing that with enough wind, even the strongest roots could be pulled asunder. The journey these two undertook was not merely one of escape, but a meditative reflection of humanity's tethered ambitions and dreams. The act of flight itself became a symbol of reaching beyond limitation, a powerful force that has resonated across generations. Drawing parallels, we often find ourselves walking similar paths, balancing between the gravitational pull of comfort and the alluring heights of aspiration. Each step in those olive groves itself mirrored a step closer to the crafting of the wings, which were imbued with as much caution as they were with hope. As Daedalus and Icarus crafted their legendary wings, our story unfolds into a moment of calm ritual, a meditation in motion. The materials were selected with deliberate care, each feather tested for strength, each piece of beeswax warmed between gentle hands until malleable. As the wings took form, every binding and adjustment was an act of loving precision. Picture the way Daedalus might pause to smooth a filament or align feathers, akin to how a calm teacher shapes their pupil's future, one lesson at a time. One might envision Daedalus guiding Icarus's hands in the gentle application of wax, teaching him not just the mechanics, but an essential patience, to see the project not just as means to an end, but as a living assembly shaped by their bond, fraught with the potential both of flight and of cautionary tales. And so, in these tranquil interludes, as they worked side by side, father and son created more than just wings. They wove together aspiration with the art of mindful creation. In many senses, these serene stories of striving and caution are not bound by time. They carry the gentle reminders that life's journey is often a blend of dream and reality, of aspiration carefully balanced with reflection. And so, as our story unfurls gently onward, we find that it rests not simply in the flight or the fall, but in every breath, every glance exchanged, every shared smile or nod, a loving reminder that the journey itself is wrapped in quiet wonder. Ultimately, in this calming exploration of myth, the story of Icarus and Daedalus becomes more than just a tale of what might have been. It stands as a touchstone for the soft power of dreams met with gentle wisdom. It invites you, like the quiet waves of Crete, to reflect on the balance of your own ambitions and navigate through them with luminous calm. In your mind's eye, let us journey to a different stretch of time. Imagine a landscape painted in serene hues of blue and gold, where sea and sky blur into one at the horizon. It is a world defined by the rhythm of the waves, a gentle reminder of endless cycles. The Aegean Sea exudes a certain timelessness here. Its depths hold stories as countless as grains of sand on the beach. The early morning sun stretches its light, casting a warm glow across the ancient flight path of Icarus. Here, every gust of the wind carries with it a whisper of adventure, a soft call to the open sky, inviting the brave-hearted to dare and dream. As we draw closer to the heart of this myth, we encounter not the echo of hubris, but the balance of nature's embrace against human aspiration. Icarus lives in a world of simple pleasures and understated beauty. Everyday life unfolds according to nature's schedule. With the gradual brightening of day, hearth fires are rekindled, their gentle crackle and warmth drawing families closer together. The smell of baking bread weaves through the air, mingling with the aromatic notes of thyme and rosemary, as the dew lightly kisses the ground and transforms under the sun's tender gaze. Here, in these moments before the day fully awakes, one can imagine villagers gathering at the harbor. Their soft conversations blend with the sea's melody, creating a slow, harmonious symphony. Fishermen prepare their boats, calming their hands and their minds for a long day on the water. Bestrewn with nets and ropes, their wooden vessels ride the tide, quietly awaiting the promise of the day's catch.
The village is alive, yet measured, each movement purposeful, but never rushed. Surrounding fields are alive with farmers tending to crops, their hands working the earth with gentle expertise. You might hear the distant whistle of a shepherd guiding his flock over the hills, accompanied by the steady tinkling of their bells. Life here is a cascade of gentle motions, woven into a tapestry of calm. As Icarus watches this world from his perch, a newfound maturity colors his view. Flight, he realizes, is not just about defying gravity or seeking immortality. It is about aspiration balanced with appreciation, a dialogue between desire and consequence, much like the fisherman's cast or the farmer's sow. In understanding this balance, Icarus learns to align his hopes with the natural cadence of life, where patience and impulse find common ground. His father, Daedalus, a master craftsman known throughout the islands, instilled in him the principle of balance. Through the ages, legends have shadowed Daedalus with the mechanical brilliance of his inventions. Yet, beneath the patina of innovation lies a father's hope that his son understands the heart of wisdom, to know when to soar and when to listen to the wind. In these soft moments of reflection, the legend of Icarus becomes not a tale of overreach, but one of gentle lessons. It is a narrative stitched together by the ordinary cycles of life, learning not just to soar, but also to land. Icarus, with wings that carried the ambition to fling himself skyward, finds that rising is as important as returning.
And so, in the warmth of the Grecian sun, under skies that hold the weightless dreams of those before him, Icarus comprehends that the heavens and the earth are not separate realms, but complementary ones. Moving between them is a dance as old as time, a reminder that in reaching for the stars, one must also embrace the earth from which they leap. This delicate balance forms a harmony, a gentle rhythm that threads through the space of history and continues its lullaby to those who listen, inviting each of us to dream, ready to return from flights of fancy to the steady ground that awaits. In the cinematic sweep of such stories, perhaps the greatest lesson lingers in the quiet, in dreams or in waking life. The beauty is not in the flight alone, but in the ability to revisit and reflect, finding joy and peace in every rise and return. By such tender musings, as you prepare for the rest of your day, or perhaps the night's rest ahead, allow yourself to be cradled by Icarus's journey. Like him, you are learning to navigate the winds, to balance ambitions with contentment. It is in understanding this that you find solace, like a gentle melody playing in the twilight, soothing and guiding you to the restful edges of sleep.
The journey is its own reward, and as you close this chapter, let the tranquil tides envelop your dreams, like gentle whispers of ancient stories, the calm presence of history resonating with each silent, serene heartbeat of the world. Imagine now the Aegean Sea spread out like a sheet of lustrous blue silk beneath the gentle blush of dawn. The water, rippling in the early light, reflects a mosaic of soft pinks and golds, capturing the moment when night yields to day. It is a time of hope, of renewal, when the world feels fresh and full of promise. In this tranquil scene, we find Icarus contemplating his next steps along the edge of calm waters. The rocks beneath his feet are smooth and cool, shaped by countless tides over countless years. He feels the subtle grit of salt in the air, the kind that sticks ever so lightly to the skin and perfuses the air with the aroma of the deep sea. Icarus breathes deeply, as if to imbibe some of the ocean's enduring strength and calm. His heart, although yearning, follows a gentle rhythm now, unlike the wild beats of ambition that had propelled him thus far. As his gaze travels upwards, seagulls wheel and dive, their calls echoing like distant playful dreams above the soft percussion of the surf. The sky, deep and endless, mirrors the possibilities unfolding before him. It is here on this quiet morning that Icarus finds peace in the simple act of being. He stands not in defiance of the world below, but in harmony with it, embracing both earth and sky. On the ground near his feet, a single feather rests, a remnant from the wings crafted with such care and intent. It is light, ephemeral, a reminder of dreams that touch the sky and the earth in equal measure. The feather catches a ray of the newly risen sun, glowing with a softness that belies its journey through the air. Icarus, reaching down, lifts the feather, feeling its gentle tickle along his palm. It reminds him of the touch of his father's hands, deftly weaving their shared hopes and labor into those wings. Daedalus, a man whose greatness lay not just in his craft, but in the wisdom of understanding life's subtle balances. Icarus smiles softly, contemplating the beautiful irony of their venture, a bold dance with danger, tempered by love and kinship. The world, vast and open, feels inviting, as if whispering age-old stories that float like wisps through the early morning air. Alongside thoughts of the past, his mind begins to wander forward, dabbling in dreams of other flights, not of wax and feathers, but those grounded in wisdom and understanding, an ambition now laced with gentle purpose rather than reckless pursuit. In this serene composure, he senses how the ancients, too, must have found solace and lessons in nature, like the olive tree that withstands drought, yet yields fruit season after season, or the stars that always shine no matter how the earth turns. And perhaps he sees himself in this rhythm of existence, ready to return and endure, ready to grow and dream anew, grounded but reaching, patient and ambitious. Finally, rising from his moment of reflection, Icarus takes a step forward. The land unfolds in soft hues of olive and ochre, stretching toward hills kissed by the day's first warmth. It's a path that promises both new beginnings and enduring continuations, a journey at once toward and away from, flights into the sky. And so, Icarus walks away from the edge of the sea, his feet leaving ephemeral traces in the sand, soon erased by the gentle tide. He steps toward life with all its imperfect beauty, toward dreams rooted in a firm understanding of balance, of love, of wisdom harvested from their shared endeavors. As the sun climbs higher, the day resonates with a symphony of tranquil sounds, the rustle of olive leaves, the whisper of the sea, reminding him, and perhaps reminding all who hear, that every journey is a part of a larger cosmic order, a dance of ambition and reflection, of reaching and withdrawing. And there, under this wide, peaceful canopy of time and space, all thoughts gather and settle, like leaves on a quiet current. Dreams of flying may live on, tempered and reshaped by the gentle hand of experience, and guided by a heart now attuned to the tender rhythms of the world. Is it not in such moments and stories that we find our own quiet places, reflections of our desires, and the gentle whispers of wisdom? For in the end, it is the journey of understanding, a flight of another sort, that assures us we are part of this majestic tapestry of life, ever vast, ever tender. And as evening draws near, the sky shifts once more to a tapestry of pink and lavender, casting its soothing embrace over the land and sea. It is a reminder that the cycle of day and night, of flight and earth, continues unabated, as essential and calming as the rhythmic ebb and flow of the sea and the timeless stories of old.